Hi. Last year, I ran my first marathon and I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. Like most people in their 30s, they get into a hobby. It's either running, sourdough, or gardening, or Disney. I've gotten into all of them. And in an effort to do better, I'm holding myself accountable. And also, I just want to put something into the world that I have been really enjoying myself. I've been consuming this type of content, and I just really enjoy watching people who are also in the same kind of walk of life. Someone who is like working and has responsibilities and is also training for this kind of thing. So I was like, hey, I should be also doing this. if I'm taking, I should also be giving. So here I am. I'm starting a weekly kind of check-in process of, I don't know, I'm gonna call it, I have notes here, so that's why I keep referencing this. I'm gonna call it Let's Do Better, but maybe I don't know. I'm not tied to that idea yet. But last year I ran a marathon. My chip time was 5 hours, 8 minutes. Wow. And I was really happy with that time. I thought I did great. My big goal was just one, to finish the marathon. And my second goal was to do it without injury. And I did it without injury, and I finished the marathon. So yay, I did it. This year, like a lot of people who finish a marathon, they're like, oh, hell yeah. That was great. Let's do it again. Immediately afterwards, I was like, oh, I want to do another marathon. That was great. So I immediately started planning out the next year of like, what marathon can I do? Obviously, with a 5-hour marathon time, I'm not getting into a marathon on the time. A lot of marathons, if you're going to get in guaranteed entry into like the big ones, you're going to need a time. For my age, it's in the 3 hours. So you're just going to either going to pay into just getting into one, or you're going to go into like one of the smaller marathons. For instance, the one that I did was Seattle, so that was great. So my goal for this year is to just like do better, and I wanted to do another marathon. I had big dreams. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do New York. I'm gonna try and get into New York. I put my name in for the general lottery. Anyone who knows marathons knows that New York is like one of the hard ones. So is Boston to get into. If you hear the dog, he's hanging out there with me. New York's a really hard one to get into. I think it's like a 1% chance for general lottery, but I was like, hell yeah. Put my name in the hat. I did not get into the general lottery. So I was like, that's fine. I'll go ahead and just like put my name into a few charities and see if I can get into any of these charities and see if I can just raise, a couple $1,000s for a charity and run for a charity. I think that'd be really fun. Life happened. So what happened with life was our dog here, Pollo, he ended up needing a pretty expensive surgery. And so that kind of put my charity process on hold, because if you don't run the amount, or if you don't fundraise the amount for charity, you yourself are kind of on hold to give the rest up for charity, which would have been fine. And I could have just, hustled or saved the amount for the charity myself, but because we have to replace 2 knees, it's totally fine. We have to replace 2 knees. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do. We shouldn't travel, and we shouldn't do any, big unnecessary purchases. Fine. That means I have to relook at my races that I was gonna do this year and kind of reevaluate. The last 5 years, Pollo and I have done this Columbia River Gorge half marathon, and it's great. If you do the half marathon, you can do it with your dog. It is one of the most fun marathons that we have ever done because you can do it with your dog. It's super cool. But obviously, since he just had his first knee surgery, and actually this Wednesday, he's getting his next knee done. He's not going to be running that half marathon. So I just went online and looked to see if they had any full marathon times left for that, and they did. So I was like, cool, I'll just switch over my bib from a half to a full. But what that meant for me and my training plan was, instead of having my full marathon in November like it was last year, my full marathon is now in October, which just makes me a little bit nervous because that means less training time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna have to kind of change around how I did my training, and also I have less time to train because my full marathon is sooner than it was last year. So we're doing this one, and it's sooner rather than later, and my training is going to be different. Last year when I did my training, I would consider myself a beginner runner. I do like running. I have been running for a while, but very like up until last year, my farthest I've ever done was just half marathons, and they've always just been very easygoing. I've never gone out with a goal in mind as far as like time or literally any goals ever. I've just always been like, this is for fun, and they are always fun. But now I don't know, now I've just been really like motivated to be like, putting a goal towards it has been very it's been very like it's given me this drive, and it's been very fun to have something to work towards. So this year I'm not just running a marathon, like I really want to do better, and it would be great to have a set of goals that I can reach. And I know that I can, and I just know that I need to have the discipline. And yeah, so I just wanted to do these videos weekly because I think it's great watching a lot of these videos. I love doing them when I'm like doing chores around the house and seeing these like inspirational folks who are training and doing all this kind of stuff. But it's really nice seeing it from people who also have like full-time jobs and a lot of responsibilities to like fit this kind of stuff into their schedule, just to see that it's like doable. You know, no shade against like influencers or anything like that, but it's just great to see it from people who have like more constraints, time constraints that they have to work around or in and out of. So my big goals, my things that I'm like working around is, number one, I want to complete my full marathon in October, and I want to hit 4 hours, 30 minutes. 4 hours, 30 minutes. That's my goal. So reminder, my last one was 5 hours, 8 minutes. I want to do my next one in 4 hours, 30 minutes. So I want to shave quite a bit of time off. And my number 2 goal for the year is to hit 8,000 steps every day. Now, I know that sounds crazy probably to some people, like, girl, you can't hit 8,000 steps every day. I work 8 hour, not 8 hours, I work 10-hour days, 4 days a week, and I do have to go into an office. So that really means like I'm away from my house and like sitting at a desk for, you know, or in a car for like 11 hours, which, yeah, so like on work days it is very hard to just like get away and like start walking. And then with our dog having surgery, he's not allowed to walk, you know, like he used to. I can't even run him. He has a lot of PT. So, and you know, this is a lot of information about my dog, but he used to be my running buddy. My whole marathon training last year was just like surrounded by like him and I running, and it has been such a such a process, like getting back into running this season, because I don't have my running buddy, and I feel super guilty every time I leave the house and I'm not running with him, leaving him here in a cone. It has been a nightmare. I've tried putting him in like a little buggy behind my bike and just biking with him. He does not like that yet. We're getting there, but he's not there yet. My number 3 goal is to hit 100 grams of protein every day. I don't like eating protein. I don't like it. I'm not interested in protein. I don't like it. the most protein I crave is cheese. I just don't like protein. There it is. I'm not a protein person. Number 4 is to be much more active in my like recovery process, as far as like making sure that I do stretches after every run and doing the cross training. Because last year I was very good at doing like recovery runs where I went out with a specific goal of like, hey, this is just a recovery run, like you're not pushing it, but not doing any like cross training where I was just like just lifting weights for the sole purpose of like, hey, this is just, you're just cross training, you're not like working out. And then my last goal is to get my dog back going outside, walking, running, and happy and healthy. He has something called floating kneecap. So last year, my training plan was really based around mileage. Like I was going out with a certain amount of mileage. So I would be like, okay, Saturday is my long run. I'm going to go out and get 16 miles in. Or Monday is my, medium tempo. I'm going to go out and get 6 miles in. It has to be 6 miles. That was fine and good and totally fine. I did not get injured the entire season, and it was, I think, really good for me as a beginner to be like, this is the miles, and not put pressure for time wise, to be like, this is fine. You can take plenty of walk breaks. And I still am going to take plenty of walk breaks. That's part of running for me, is to take a lot of walk breaks. But my plan going into this season was to plan based on time, not mileage. So it was going to be like, Monday is a 45-minute run. Wednesday is this many minute run. Saturday is this many minute run. And my thought process there was like, hey, you're going to work on speed because you only have this much time to do it. And I don't know, that was my thought. But now that I'm like, that was before the whole Pollo thing, and it has kind of thrown this whole wrench into my whole process. So now I'm kind of like back at the drawing board as far as like my whole training schedule process goes. And then, on top of it, I get all in my head about like, you work 10-hour shifts and then, you've got the car ride to go. It's a lot. So I'm like, maybe I need to like rethink this whole, like, is it time on your feet? Is it mileage? I don't know. I'm gonna mull that over, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm still consistent with like at least 3 runs a week, with the cross training in between. Just because obviously consistency is the most important thing that you can do when you're training for your marathon. So this year, I don't know if I'm going to stick with the time-based training plan or if I'm going to go back to mileage. I really don't know. And I have, before anyone says, I have thought about getting a stroller for my dog to push him in, but he hates, so far, he really does not like being in the buggy on the bike. And I have a really embarrassing story about a recent 5K where I offered to push a friend's real human baby in a stroller, and that kicked my ass. So I don't know if I'm ready for that either. But maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Also, we're 1 knee down, 1 to go. I shouldn't be doing this very much longer. Anyways, the structure of these videos is going to be like 1 week increments. So my thought process is I'm going to like hop down here in my little chair and kind of like reflect on the past week. So this video might be a little bit longer than moving forward, just because I'm kind of introducing the idea and kind of getting my feelers out there. But basically I'm just going to like document the whole process of like my goals that I just laid out there. Is like, I'm running, I'm doing my cross training, I'm hitting my protein goals, and doing, my steps. And the steps one is gonna be a little bit, I don't know, probably boring. It'll just be showing me doing probably a lot of farm chores and stuff like that, just making sure I'm getting my goals and also doing all the other productive things that I need to be doing around the house, just because my husband is working 2 jobs this summer. So yeah, it'll probably just be some boring little farm tour B-roll, but I'll throw that in just to make sure that everyone sees that I'm hitting my 8,000 steps and that I'm hitting my 8,000 steps and eating a lot of protein, more protein than I could ever want. It is just, I really need to get over that. I just don't like eating protein. It's I've never been a big meat eater. It's so gross. Yeah, so this isn't perfect yet, but if anyone has any suggestions or anything that they'd like to see, there's a few YouTubers that I really enjoy watching, and they you know, are kind of like do this kind of structure where it's like them sitting down and kind of reflecting on the week to hold themselves accountable. And so that's kind of the flow that I was going to go with. And yeah, just figured start small with these like little check-ins and see how it goes, see if anyone else likes this kind of thing. Keep myself accountable, stay hard with the discipline this year, and you know, hopefully definitely hit the 4-hour marathon, not 4-hour 30-minute marathon mark. And we'll see how the rest goes, but I'm very excited. I'm super stoked. I hope you guys all follow along, and if you could subscribe and like this video, that'd be very helpful and great. Thank you. And yeah, thanks. All right, so this first week was mostly just about getting back into it while also recording myself or filming myself. I do post up on YouTube, but it's mostly just like fun home videos and stuff like that. So this was just a new sort of thing for me to try and record more aspects of my life, like day to day. So I was just trying to record like all little pieces of it, and it felt very awkward. But anyways, this week went more or less pretty fine. For this week, we are about 24 weeks out from the marathon, and I did hit my 3 runs this week for a total mileage of 11:55. I feel like it was okay, but as you'll see in some of this footage here in a second, I'm gonna like pause when I get to it in my voiceover editing Jess, but I was on the struggle bus. So today I actually remembered last night to charge my battery on my GoPro, which it was good because today's my long run, but no better than my interval run. I'm walking every hill, you know, the dry mouth like is hitting immediately, and it's not even that hot today. I woke up a little bit earlier because I had to do early morning PT for Pollo and get him out, just because Chris has been working doubles this week, so I really wanted to give him the opportunity to get some sleep. So woke up a little bit earlier to try and give Chris some sleep, get Pollo PT'd, and a walk before I did my run. And you know, the sun's not really out yet, so it's really not even that hot, but my mouth is dry. Every hill I've had to walk, but yeah, really taking these couple months off has basically set me back to what I feel is like the beginning of like, feels like I've never really run before. So it's humbling. It's very humbling. So yeah, just have to be more disciplined with the training and maybe reevaluate if I want to do it based on time on my feet or mileage. I don't know. Obviously it went well last year. I completed my marathon, which was my first goal. But my goal this year is to do better than I did last year. Running gives you a lot of time to think about things. And this hill's really long. I'm gonna shut this off now and try and run up the remainder of it, or at least jog. Let's be real, most of this is jogging. And the rest of the run, jog back, is then downhill. So hopefully I'll just feel like, hey, you get in the groove. You're mostly downhill except for the little push uphill, which is my cool down. So yeah, just thinking about things again. And then I have chicken chores to do when I get home. So, okay, that was my run check-in. I'm doing better this time. My regular route, I do the same route. I'm a creature of habit, but my regular route I was struggling on, and just like every hill, I was like, I need to walk these. It was hard and it was hot. I was stopping at the watering holes and like dipping my head in because I was like, geez, fork and rice. Hello. Okay, so today I'm doing some gardening out here, and that is like plenty workout, but I'm also going to force myself to do cross training. Yesterday was a running day, and I also had a late night. Went to a comedy show, which was super fun, but woke up and did a bunch of gardening, and I have one more gardening tasks, so I'm going to do a like time lapse to hopefully catch the whole thing. The last thing is making a cute little like garden, we call them garden beans. So I just went and took a look at my step count and my protein and my running log for the last week, just because I realized like, oh my gosh, I didn't actually I didn't actually show anyone or tell anyone if I did that for the past week. So for the past week, I did not meet my step goal every single day. I missed it one day this last week. But I more than doubled it for Sunday. So for every single day I hit the steps 8,000 except for Monday. Monday I only did 1,000. So what the fuck was I doing that day? No idea. Hopefully I just lost my watch. Not sure. I also did not hit my protein goal on Monday. What was I doing that day? I have no idea. But every other day I hit my protein goal. I did my 3 runs that I had planned, and I did 4 days of cross training. So that was all part of the plan. I did better than the week before, which is the goal. And next week I will do better than this week. I will hit my protein goal, and I will hit my step goal, and I will feel better on my runs, because I will figure out why I didn't feel better on these runs, and I will get that going so that I will feel better on the runs this next week. So just had to make sure that I got this in here so everyone knew, hey, this is where I hit on those goals that I said that I had. There they are. The bean is done. So I put some taller stuff in the back, which was, let's see, this lattice in the back, and then a couple of these are lilies bulbs, just bulbs, lilies that are already up, a couple like greenery things that we already had, and that is the peony that we've had there for, I think this is its 2nd year. So that's the bean. And then when I go out for my runs, as I find fun rocks and stuff, I like to pick up rocks, and then I outline the bean. That's the bean. It's the bean. It took me all morning. It's afternoon. I have to eat now.